Now, here's where it gets super exciting about having vibrant relationships. Marital vibrancy, friendships which are thriving and flourishing, however, your neighborhood, whatever. And it comes with understanding, are you ready for this one? The absolute definition of love. All right, that's the basis of every single thriving relationship, right? We talk about God as the main stem there, but God is the one really much who showed us what love is. But it's our job to understand the difference in love. All right, so there's like an unconditional love, there's a love that you have for your friends, and then there's a love that you have like a romantic type of love. We're talking like unconditional love, like the absolute in and out, up and down, just like plain out, flat old, sometimes kind of dirty old love, like it just is. And here is a very simple definition. Okay, I think most people know this. If you've ever been to a wedding, usually this is one of the things which is always read. They've made songs about this, like all kinds of stuff. And it's this. You see? Yeah. All right, so love is patient. This is, the descriptor here. Love is kind. Love does not envy. I'm reading this backwards. Love does not boast. Love is not proud. Love is not rude. Love is not self-seeking. Love is not easily angered. Love keeps no records of wrongs. Love never fails. Okay? This is your template of what love is actually all about. All right? So it applies to every quality relationship that you have in your life. All right? Now here's where it gets good. You can substitute names for the word love. All right, now this goes back to the importance of having a very high degree of discernment and selecting the people of who you surround yourself with, right? And this is not saying, here's what it is. It's always, so we're working on this as a model for like relationship rescue, probably, and how to overcome some conflict. I could see that's how this would actually be used, and I have a great example about that. Just one second. Is that when you approach people, when you're trying to do any type of conflict resolution, the outcome is usually determined before you ever engage in that interaction by your overall outlook on people. Meaning that if you in your heart of heart believe that people as a whole are good people, good-hearted people who have dreams, who have aspirations, who want to do good things in the world. They've got families that they love. They want to feel important. They want, they want to have love in their life, all that stuff. When you view the world out of those eyes, usually you have a much better outcome when it comes to establishing, maintaining awesome relationships, and moving through conflict resolution. But if in your heart of heart you think people suck, like not just the one person, but just as a rule, like people suck, the world is full of nothing but, people who want to take advantage of you, this, that, and the other, that usually determines your outcome. All right? Now that's not to say that you allow certain behaviors, right? It's not to say that people who are robbers and murderers and, all these other things, like we should just be like, oh, well, you know what, they have a family and they want, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that those people, the robbers and the murderers, etc., they shouldn't even be in your circle to begin with, so it becomes a non-issue. All right, moving forward, when you're experiencing conflict, all right, here's an example. I had a woman that I was coaching a couple years back, and her husband actually is an atheist, and they had gotten married in church. They had this read at their wedding, and one of the things that came out in coaching, she came to me for a health and fitness goal. That was actually her goal. But I don't just coach in health and fitness, because health and fitness affects every other area of your life. So we were getting into like the relationship sector, And all of a sudden, just like it came out, like how horrible she was feeling in her home space. It was unorganized. Her husband is an entrepreneur. He's very, very innovative. He's very, very fast paced, but very, very disorganized. And he knows it. Like, he's got a team on his in his business who takes care of organization, and he just, he's out there just like, getting the lay of the land. Well, that sort of habit didn't go over real well at home. And they had already had like a series of issues near the beginning of their marriage where they almost had gotten divorced. They had gotten some help, made it through that, but it was this next chapter of their life that involved being organized and just some of the finer details of their relationship, but which she recognized. But she said, I just don't have patience for this anymore. She was getting to like that desperate point. So I had asked her, you got married in a church? Yeah. But I know that he's an atheist. Yeah, we don't go, we don't go to church. We don't talk about God. We don't do any of that. Okay. Which was actually bothersome to her. And so I said, so you can still pray for your husband. Like, you're allowed to do that, right? You're not responsible for getting him to, move in whatever direction, but you can still cover him with prayer. So you can totally do that. But how do you handle day to day if you're always frustrated, right? And so I showed her this. Okay, now this is the definition of the love. This is your responsibility to demonstrate this love to your husband, regardless of how he acts. He's the problem. But here's the thing. When you're attempting to solve a problem, if you enter the discussion, honey, we need to have a talk, or you even go out on a date together and you are viewing him or her, if it's, your wife, as somebody who is totally impatient, is never going to listen to me, same thing over and over and over again, they never change, all they do is blah, 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 all this stuff, you're never going to have a fruitful outcome. You actually have to change how you view your spouse. Or if this is in the setting of a friendship, how do you view your friend? Provided that you've done a great job in being selective of the people that you put around you, this should be a non-issue, right? This is what happens when you encounter bumps in life. Like, that's what happens, is that you can put their name, all right? This is to help you on how do you switch how you approach them, okay? Both in your head, but mostly in your heart. And so you take the name of your husband or the name of your spouse or wife or, whatever, and you put their name in place of love. So if their name, I don't know, is Fred, right? And you're looking at him and you're just like, I don't even want to do this. This is your exercise right here. Okay, so Fred, right, is patient. Fred is kind. You wouldn't have married him if he wasn't, right? Okay, Fred does not envy. Fred does not boast. Fred is not proud, blah, 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 right? Fred keeps no records of wrongs. So when you are now choosing to view and actively engaging, right, in a mind exercise that's based on this, it automatically starts recruiting your heart, and it changes your heart so that now when you're looking to have the discussion, right, you're not coming at it with you always blah 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 blah, like, because it's not going to be better. Now you're able to approach that individual as somebody who is very loving and may or may not be aware of what they're doing or how it's affecting you or your relationship. And more likely, you're able to move through that process of conflict resolution and reconciliation of your relationship far easier and way, way, way more effective than you would the other way. Now, with this comes the responsibility of how you command yourself in that conversation as well. So it's first, how do you view the other person, but then making sure that you hold yourself to this standard as well, and that you put your name here. Okay, so me, Nicole is patient. Nicole is kind. Nicole doesn't envy. Nicole does not boast, right? So you go down, go down, go down, and all of a sudden, if you're putting yourself, in the corner, or you're putting yourself, in a bad way, or if you're feeling like, gosh, I'm always resentful, gosh, I'm always like, I just put my ego on all the way, you put your name in there, and it automatically acts again the same way to reprogram your mind and your heart, so that no matter who you're dealing with, you always come into that conversation from a place of strength, right? You're stepping up into your power, but you're always doing so in a very graceful way.